Yo, yo, yo. Kind of crazy. What is up, everyone? How is everyone doing on this lovely Sunday morning? Yeah, I feel that way too. Um, no, I am super excited to read this chapter. I have been dying to read this chapter, if I'm being honest. Um, so super glad, super glad that I'm finally here, ready to rock and roll. Um, Everyone was telling me, yo, this chapter's got a lot. It's got a lot going on. And so, you know, kind of, I gotta be here. Gotta check this out. So, without further ado, let me make sure that everybody is good. Okay. It's already good to go. Okay. All right. What's up, everyone? I am your boy Nerdtaku. I hope you can hear me. I should be. Sound is low. Right, got you, got you, got you. It might also just be me. I'm just kidding. Hold on, let me change my settings here. Should be good now. Can you? How is it? Um, hello, hello. Um, it's on the right mic. Hopefully, it sounds good. Um, if not, I'll up the gain here a second. Um, so this chapter I am super excited for because after last chapter, it was kind of crazy. Um, all of the stuff with rocks has just been absolutely incredible. So I am ready to jump right back in. And this will be the official translation. Um, Sometimes I read the fan translations, but most of the time, not most of the time, a good portion of the time, I try to um or life just makes it so that I only get to the point where Sunday comes around and here we are. So, um, I am super excited for this, ready to rock and roll. Let me know if the sound is still low. Um, and I am ready. So, this is a very interesting front page, to say the least, um, for this color spread. So, oh, by the way, you should be able to, let me see if I can get this right down here. See where I'm at over my logo. So, you should be able to see and at least tell me like, or follow along to a decent bit. So, this color spread is interesting because at first you see, you know, the Gaban to Sanji parallel. You see the Luffy to the Roger. You see the Gaban or the Rayleigh to the Zoro. And it looks like they're kind of staring each other down. And it looks super cool. Luffy has, Nami behind him. He's got Frankie, Jinbei, and like all the other Straw Hats are like in his pockets, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. You see Usopp in the back, Chopper's riding him, so's Robin, and Frankie's in the front pointing. So, very interesting um, color spread to show the parallels here. You know, you even have it that like Gabon or Sanji's wearing the same glasses as Gabon. It's just it's just kind of cool. Just, you know, super dope. Um, but yeah, I love this. This looks tough. I really like this. This is a very cool cover. So, all right, now we're gonna get into the chapter. Please like the stream, subscribe if you haven't, and let's get at it. All right, we got. I'm gonna go one page here, so that way. Okay, so this is back still in Rox's time. And it says, back in this time, a group of idols roamed the sea. And the chapter title is Idols. That's very interesting. Okay. Okay. So it says, we're under attack by pirates. And then it has like a little heart after it. It says, why aren't you men fighting back? You're useless. And it says, they stole everything we have. And the men folk were no help at all? And it says, they're too tough. It's and then like a lady's like, you didn't even try to fight. How are we going to make a living now? Mm. And then the Marines have all hard eyes. It says even the Navy had trouble dealing with them. And it says they were known as the Kuja Pirates, a band of warriors from the exotic country of women. Very interesting. So, same ship, same, Jolly Roger. Okay, let's see here. And it says these pirates were strong and beautiful and shunned the presence of men. It says, I'm so sick and tired of looking like this all the time. And Gloriosa says, if only I could strip away this beauty of mine. Yeah, don't worry, it's coming. It is coming. It says, Lady Gloriosa, you're a goddess. And it says, Empress of Amazon Lily, Captain of the Kuja Pirates. Gloriosa. In future, Grandma Nyan. She's so adorable, adorably devious. I love her. I feel my brain being bathed in light. It says, oh, asking for permission to have a heart attack. Damn. She really do be fine, though. It's kind of tough. Be rocking the same fit as Boa. I'd love to see this colored. Okay. Next page. And it says, Lady Gloriosa, look at all your fan letters. And it says, Tritoma. What is that enormous pile back there? And those are all for Lady Shacky. It says, there's 100 times more over there. Hmm. Hmm. Shacky, that girl. Listen. And then, hmm. Interesting. It says there's 100 times more over there. It says Tritoma, Amazon Lily Empress 2 generations later. 2 generations later. Oh yeah, because it went Gloriosa and then Shacky and then Tritoma and um then Boa. So there's been 4 in total. Interesting. It says it's preposterous. I'm the captain of this crew. And it's like, eek, she's like an icy jewel of fury. Hmm. And then it says, yes, the true star of the times who outshined even Gloriosa's beauty was her first mate, Yaku Yaku. Mm. And it says, enemy ship approaching, Captain. She's like, what? Isn't that? And then it says, ahem, is this thing on? Roger speaking. This is Roger. It's the Roger pirates. And says, don't bother resisting, Kuja pirates. Yo, Roger's like, yo, let me pull up. I got a guy for you. His name's Rayleigh. Oh shit, here we go. And it says, today, once and for all, you're going to hand over your first mate, Shaku Yaku. And it says, why haven't you learned your lesson already, Roger? You already have my affections to return. And it says, seize her. And it says, who are you expecting to seize? And all of a sudden, you see a door crack open. It's like Lady Shaku Yaku. It says someone once said that her every move and gesture embodied pure seduction. And Roger's like, yo, what? And it says, there she is. It's Shaki. And it says, birds forgot how to sing, and people erupted into fighting. In her presence, the flowers wilted and crumbled. Oh my god. And it says, no, not his, no, not his, accept my gift of flowers, Shacky. Flowers, please take my flowers. And Shaki attacked and said, oh, Gabon. And says, when she calls my name, I lose all my strength. And then Shaggy says, it's been a while, Roger. And he goes to swing his sword and he's like barely standing and says, what did you do to Gabon? And she just punches him damn right in the fucking face and says, damn it, I love you, Shaku Yaku. I love you too, Roger. What? And it says, in the face of such beauty and mighty made the fools of themselves. Mm. Mm. This is crazy. Sanji fans feeling vindicated seeing Roger simp out too. Yeah, for real. Yo, the fact that like the three pirate empresses were all on the same ship together at one point when they weren't like technically empresses, kind of crazy. And this is crazy because also all these people are simping over Rayleigh's future bitch basically, which is kind of nuts. This is crazy. That's a hell of a double spread too. Oh, she's still got a cigarette in her mouth and it says, "But I will belong to no one." And then oh my god. This is crazy. And all the people are like just simping so crazy. Sorry about that. Um, this is just so wild. And Gloriosa like has Roger by the neck and is like, "Don't you understand the honor of being loved by me, Roger?" And he's like, "Move it, Gloriosa. I can't see Shaki." Yo, this is crazy. This is so insane. Says it's cool to see the parallel with Gloriosa loving Roger, Boa loving Luffy, but it being unreciprocated. But then at the same time, we get to see how Luffy and Roger were different from each other. Yeah, because he wants someone else. And Shaggy walks by and says, "I feel for you, Ray." And Rayleigh's like, "Yeah, it's a bunch of idiots over here." And she winks at him, and he's like, Yo, this is so good. It's so fucking funny. Kuja Pirate's first mate, Shaku Yaku. Damn. What a fucking reveal. Oh shit. It was fucking short lived. It says Lady Gloriosa, it's the Navy. It says, hurry, pack up the goods. Don't leave a single crumb of bread. And it says, yes, ma'am. Hey, at least leave us some food. It says, we've got to get moving. Prepare to say. And it says, it's, hold on. It says, it's the Roger and Kuja pirates. Make sure to snap some pics. We can sell those. And so it says, knock it off. And Roger says, we got to get moving. We got to get moving. Prepare to say. And it says, take a look, Roger. That's Garp's ship. And then Roger says, it's what? Disregard that order. Listen up, boys. Flatten them all. Yo, that's so fucking cool. Dude, I love this. This is like a fucking great moment here. Pirate Goldie Roger, future pirate and king and father of Ace, future Navy hero and grandfather of Luffy. So crazy. Oh, hold up here. Hold up. This is Meteor Fist. Ah, here it comes. Rampaging Spirit. It's it just had to be Garp ship. And then Roger's like, Garp? And Garp's like, Roger. And they just, man, Tonkers hockey out these two. Just fucking, yo, this is so cool. Just them just beating the shit out of each other with Conquer's hockey. It says, Roger, Garp, and Rocks, men those tales, men whose tales were spread as legends in the great pirate age, or the great age of pirates, first clashed here in their hot-blooded youth. I love it. And it says, huh, Lady Gloriosa? And it says, the Kuja, meanwhile, were tremendously popular and an indispensable part of the story of this era. Interesting. And oh, I see. I see. Because Gloriosa fell in love. She was in love with Roger. It says, get a grip, sister. And she's like, my chest feels tight. And they're like, all the other pirates, the Kuja pirates, they're like, they're so gorgeous. It says, these untouchable idols were the desire of all the salty dogs of the sea, and their bounty posters were traded for considerable sums. Hidden cameras and pursuers were an everyday problem for them. It says later, when Shakuyaku took the mantle of Empress, her popularity reached heights never before seen. Interesting. So it looks like Gloriosa is suffering from that, like whenever Boa said she was sick, and Gloriosa knew exactly what it was. It's like that fever. Okay, man, this chapter. Oh, whoa, that's kind of fucked up. Hold up. Mm, Okay, it says, Edith's Bar Elbaf. Harold says, I appreciate you for saving him. Hang in there, Loki. Oh no, it says Edith's Bar. The boat capsized and Loki was drowning. To be honest, we weren't even sure if we should save him or not. That's how bad his behavior has been while you were gone. And Harold says, I appreciate that. Thank you for saving him. Hang in there, Loki. And it says, what do you mean you weren't sure? Save the boy. What if Loki had died out there? And it says, listen, Ida, it was Loki's decision to go out to sea. And she said, so what? If you abandon Loki, I'll drown you 100 times. Damn. She was like, yo, I'm the pacifist. Like, and Loki's on the ground. He says, I didn't ask for help. And the captain's like, there you see, that's the attitude he takes. Oh, he makes me furious. Yo, I love this. And then it is like, he's lost his mom and his dad is too busy to stay home. Loki's just lonely, that's all. And Loki's like, shut up, you hag. And it says, haha, want to live with us? And Loki and Haruden both are like, no way. And Loki's like, you just want to pretend to be my mom and live in the castle, Ida. You just want all the money. Damn, bro, projecting at that age? That's kind of crazy. And Harden's like, shut up, Loki. And Harold's like, apologize to her, Loki. You've crossed the line. You have no idea what Ida's been through. And Ida's like, you kids are too sweet. And it says, you're being too soft on him, Ida. And then one of the kids is crying. He says, I hate the way Loki talks to you, Ida. It's not fair. And Ida's like, oh, are you crying for me, Mato? This world's too good for me. And Loki's like, I'm sick of this country already. Everyone's so weak and wimpy and trashy. I want to be free like rocks. Bro's pulling a Luffy hard. It says, from that point on, every time Rox came to invite Harold to join him, Loki begged and pleaded to join his pirate ship, but never got his way. And Loki says, I'm finally leaving. Aren't you relieved? To tell you the truth, I hate all of you too. It says, several months after the takeover of Pirate Island by Rox. Okay. It says, hey, who are you? I want to join the Rocks Pirates. Yeah, sure, everybody wants to do that, but you'll never even meet him. It says, the Rocks Pirates are the all stars of evil on this sea. See that fish shaped rock up there? Fish shaped rock. Interesting. This is apparently that's where they all hang out. And he says, you want to meet him? Go on. But the further inland you go, the crazier the folks get. Good luck trying to get to get there. Yeah. And then he like kicks him. He's like, I'll give you a little push. And says, oof. Says, haha, hey, go easy on him. And then he like reaches out a hand and the dude's like, huh? Oh shit. Oh, hot damn. And it says, it's him, Kyo, the hitman. And it says Mobster Kyo, future Silver Axe. What? So this is Silver Axe. It says, what's Shiki's rival doing here? And it says, the powerful figures drawn to rocks brought in other mighty types in their wake. It says, stay back or he'll kill you. What the fuck? And all of a sudden, two fucking like eyes are cut out of the fucking top of Pirate Island, and everyone's like, "Huh?" He says, "There. How about that view? Take in the sights." And it says, "I think opening these holes was the right idea. Don't you agree?" So Silver Axe was one of the rumored Rocks members from Thriller Bark. He was supposed to be one of the zombies, but he wore a suit of armor at that time. So we never really got to see what he truly looked like. So that's very interesting. Hmm. There was like a time where people thought it was like Rayleigh's brother, because it's like Silver's Rayleigh, and they thought it was Silver's axe, but this just says Silver Axe. Very interesting. Yeah. So Sengoku also mentioned Silver Axe. How did I do this? Mm, okay, here we go. Oh damn. Oh damn. Here we go. And then Rock says, to sum it all, there's two devil fruits out there that I want. Bruh, tell me more. It says one of them is most likely found on Elbaf, and its power will only be truly unlocked if Harold eats it. What? And it says, after that, you want to find Galila, right? I only know them as a legend. And we get Pirate Captain John just looking like a fucking, uh, just looking like a fucking drunk. I'm so excited. And then it says, I've got my information network on the hunt, but there's no hint of a band of frozen giants anywhere. Yeah, because they're frozen on Punk Hazard. Yo, thank you, Winston. Thank you for putting that in the chat for Zach. Um, and that's crazy. The fact that I mean, well, Big Mom would have a huh, an information network. Like she's got she's got a few kids. She was probably working through the underworld and shit. And Whitebeard's like, if they exist, they're corpses. And Strusen, pirate, Linlin's partner, says, Good point. They ain't coming back to life. It says, shut up. We're talking about dreams here. Oh, here we go. Plus, even if they were to somehow be brought back, they have no reason to listen to you. And it says pirate, barbell, catfish, fishman. Hmm. And it says, and that's why I need the power of of Harold, King of Elbaf. And Kaido says, can't you just suppress them with sheer strength? Same thing for Harold. Just crush him and make him obey. And Rox is like, what? Don't ever say that to me again. And says, hey, knock it off, Rox. And he just kicks Kaido right in the face, dude. What the fuck? Yo, he's such a menace. And then Kaido's like, bastard. It says, you too, Kaido, calm down. It says, we just got this island. You want to smash it to pieces? And it says, this crew is bound to fall apart sooner or later. And Captain John said, yeah, so why don't we earn a little more before it happens? Take it easy, new kid. And it says, Harold's my pal. You say that nonsense again, and I'll get rid of you first, Kaido. Mmm. Oh, here we go. It says, listen up, folks. Elbaf is the key to taking down the Holy Land. If you don't trust me on that, get lost. It's up to you whether or not you want to follow me on the fateful day of our mission. But if we've got the stones for it, then stick around with me for a bit. I'll show you the peak of the world. Dude. Dude. God damn. Just insanity. I mean, what's crazy is now fucking Wang Ji does not look big in comparison. The proportions are a little iffy on that one because right there's Wang Ji. Ganzui holding back Kaido, he probably had to diffuse a lot of situations. Yeah. I mean, like, just so hold on here. Let's fucking look for a second. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and Silver Axe is 12. 12 members of the Rocks Pirates. Like 12 core members, right? At least that's what I'm counting. Yes. If you count Strusen. Strusen's kind of there because he's a partner of Big Mom. But we're talking 12, right? 12 strong pirates. And then the captain. So, I mean, come on. Like, you can't tell me. You can't tell me this crew is not the most stacked crew until Luffy's crew is finally complete. Like, man, lots of lore this chapter. Lots of lore. This chapter was kind of nuts. So glad. Let's see here. So I'm curious if there's a break week usually. That's not what I want. let's see here. Also, I love the cover of Shonen Jump had the Pikachu and Luffy drawn by Oda. That's a super cool little nifty thing that we got there. Oh my god, stop. So I don't see a break week. So we're definitely getting a chap next week. Um, so let's oh, Winston says Danzui in the final panel is hilarious. He looks so happy. You know who Gonzui reminds me of? He reminds me of Frankie. He's the Frankie um of the crew. Also, I'm very interested to see this fish man because his hair looks like Luffy's Gear 5 hair. Kind of nuts. But that's beside the point. Anyway, let's quick run through it. The cover page, the color thing is super cool. Love that. It's very interesting that we're getting all the backstory of, oh, you know who we're also missing? We're also missing Gloriosa. That's 13. 13 members of the Rocks Pirates because she does join. I love the introduction of Gloriosa and how she's like, I wish I could strip away this beauty of mine, knowing full well that that happens. The introduction of the next Amazon Lily princess after Shaki, and then to see what Shaki looked like in her prime, and just like having the Roger Pirates join in just for like fun and them all be simping over fucking Shocky more than Gloriosa is kind of nuts. And to see her start to fall for Roger is interesting as well because she acts like she's dying. And the fact that she, again, Shocky dislikes all of the Roger pirates who are simping over her or anything, but Rayleigh, the one who maintained calm composure, is the one who she ends up falling for. And the fact that Rogers found out that it was Garp's ship and was just like, just kidding, we're not gonna run. I'm gonna beat the shit out of this guy. I thought for a second that Roger didn't use his sword and that him and Garp were punching each other. That would have been crazy. Like, there's so much going on. Rayleigh's Mihawk's dad. 100%. Yeah, exactly. NYC. Dude, I've been on that train. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. The way that Shaki looks and the way that Rayleigh looks, gotta be Mihawk's dad. But I do like that they just even like the slightest bit of like, hey, you know, uh, we get to see right at the end here where Glorios is like fainting and it says my chest feels tight and stuff like that. That was exactly how Boa acted. Um all this stuff with like Ida just being super great to Loki and Loki being a piece of shit sucks because like yeah, obviously Ida's really great. Um but with the timeline now, it's real. Yeah. Um the addition of Silver's axe being this mobster with these weird glasses and stuff like that and these tattoos. I mean, he looks tough. So I'm excited. What's very interesting is he looks so small in the panels prior, but then as soon as he gets kicked, he turns like 2 times bigger. Like, I don't know if Oda's just fucking got whacked out proportions. Um, like it's very interesting. I do need to talk to you, but I got you with the Lunarian. That's definitely X Drake's Papa. Well, it can't be. X Drake's real pop, and maybe his granddad, because we've met Drake's father. It's X Barrels, and he was the one who stole the Ope Ope no Mi fruit, and got clapped by fucking Doflamingo, um, with Drake just escaping. So maybe granddad, but it's very interesting to say the least. And the fact that Rox is like this person who they talk about, like when he swings his sword, nothing's left, and him like blowing the eyes out of fucking um the skull for Hachinosu is really cool lore. Just it's something so small, but it's just like it adds so much, I feel like. And then just everybody's name card. And the fact that Rox is treating Kaido like a piece of shit is fucking hilarious to me. So funny. But this last page is tough. So, if we really want to go by it, Strussen's not really a part of the crew. He just is at part with Big Mom. But I mean, this basically confirms that we're if we get Silver's Axe and Gloriosa, that's 13. Rox is the 14th, 14 people on Rox's crew. And we don't even know if there's more. So, damn. Yeah, we'll definitely have to link up Wednesday, and we're gonna have a lot to talk about. I'm definitely gonna need to sit with this chapter. Um, but no, this was great. I love this. I love each individual bit. Like it not a super ton happened in like progressing the backstory of Loki forward because we really only got what two panels, but we got that Rox is coming back and he needs Harold for this. So it's very interesting to say the least. Um, it's crazy we're getting Rox's like whole backstory through Loki somehow, even though Loki shouldn't be telling this part of the story. Like, I feel like it made more sense with Odin's backstory. This is kind of going off, but I guess it's information that we need to make the plot make sense and why Rox needs Harold on his crew. And if he was going for Harold, that would have been the 15th member. So, very interesting. This is really piquing my curiosity. But, all right, let's talk about scores because this is a pretty good chapter. But, like I said, not a lot of progression in the story, just a lot of back, like basically secondary information. But to me, it was all very compelling and very interesting. So if it's still interesting, then you know what? That's a plus for me. So to me, this chapter is like an 8.5. It's it's really good for the information. Is it super? It's all necessary information, but coming off of the heels of last chapter, it was like, yo, this is kind of crazy. Um, but I get it. We were setting up the Gloriosa thing and the Shaki thing, as well as getting a little hint of like Tritoma. Um, that's very interesting that we're getting that because Oda kind of like revealed what they all looked like, and it's very interesting the way she looked. Also, a lot of the Kuja pirates don't dress like Boa, but Gloriosa definitely dresses like Boa. And so does Shaki, being the number two, which is interesting because Boa's sisters don't dress like that. And then Tritoma doesn't dress like that, but I'm guessing she does later. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, this is a good chapter. Definitely 8.5, maybe even 9 material. I do like the fact that we get a clash between Garp and Roger. Um, it's very funny. Mm, very funny. But yeah, that was awesome. Um, yeah, I really like this chapter. It was good. I'm so happy there's no break because I need to know what comes next. So, all right, well, I gotta get going. I gotta go grab a late breakfast. Um, Thank you guys so much as always for joining. Thank you so much, Hisame, Zach, Winston, and of course NYC Anime Nerd. I will see you on Wednesday. We got plenty to talk about, um, and it's just gonna be a great stream because I feel like I'm gonna sit with this a little bit and digest it and come up with some thoughts, more thoughts at least. So thank you guys always some uh thank you guys always for coming through here. Please make sure to like the stream, make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Um and just follow that link tree to all my other socials. But thank you guys so much, and I can't wait to see you next time because I will be back here next weekend for this new chapter. So I will see